I think I had the utmost faith in myself and a lot of confidence in myself. I don't necessarily know if I ever saw it going like this far, but also, you know, as you receive things in life, money, blessings, whatever, your appetite begins to grow, right? So it's like if I give you $1 million tomorrow, you're gonna learn what it's like to have $1 million, and then you're gonna start being around people that have $10 million or $100 million, and you're gonna learn that there's other things that you can't get with $1 million. Right. So, you know, your appetite grows, and I think the initial visions that I had for myself just kind of manifested. It's everything I always wanted. It's what I work tirelessly for, and relentlessly, you know, just constantly trying to, you know, create, stay refreshing, stay consistent, you know, learning the right amount of time to take off. Yeah, I mean, usually when it's, you know, when people start to put it in your face, when it's one of these moments like the turn of a decade or something, is when you really start to sort of see it more and realize it. I never let myself get too invested in the lows or the highs. That's kind of how I stay focused. I think initially my goal was just to be a protege that didn't flop. You know, I just wanted to be somebody that was like remotely as important as my mentor. And yeah, from there, you know, I think a lot of things changed when Wayne went to jail, because it was really a moment of realization, like, all right, this guy pretty much put all his trust and all his like power behind us, and now like it's on our shoulders to like make sure that when he comes home, you know, it's kind of like the same thing, like if your man goes in and does a bid and you guys are doing a thing together, you want to make sure that when he comes out, you come pick him up in a nice car and say, yo, here, you know. So it was that type of responsibility where it's like, yo, when my guy comes home, I just want to make sure that this thing is bigger than where it was when we left off. To be from here, within the music scene, like it used to be called the Screwface Capital. We just had this thing where, like, I don't know, we just wanted to. I think everyone was just waiting and being like, yo, will it ever happen? You know, and so you get a bunch of people kind of just competing at the same level for the same shows and the same radio spots and stuff, and it breeds a lot of headbutting. And yeah, I think as we started to rise, the biggest thing and the most important thing was that everyone else got to see that it was possible. Because at the time, the pitch was far-fetched. Like, okay, so you're telling me this Canadian Jew child actor is gonna be what? Is gonna be like someone that we say is in our top 5, top 10, whatever. It's like, it was a hard sell. And I think that it took me probably being the furthest candidate and making it happen for everybody else just to realize, if you choose to live a life that is truly built and designed by you, for you, and the people that you care about, you will essentially not be able or not be willing to dedicate hours in a day to controlling every narrative. I can't fix every rumor. I can't address every single thing. I've seen people wash their whole life out by trying to like overly communicate in every scenario, trying to like fix things and clarify and this, that, you know, like I'm here living a real life with people that I really love. It's a shame if you don't notice the shift in energy around you. I mean, you can't be oblivious to what's going on around you. And I just like kind of woke up one day like, yo, this is my time. This is my this is my thing. I run this, you know, like nobody can really talk to me. I'm good at what I do. And I'm ready for anything really, and whatever it is. And yeah, I just made that switch. Like, yo, it's my time for the next however long till I decide it's not, till I decide to stop coming in here and working this hard. It's like, yo, sometimes you have to realize, like, yo, this is it. It's happening now, and this moment decides the longevity of this.
Number one spot according to the entire world, and then next week number ones and classics. And I don't care. I just want to make good music, and I just want you to enjoy it. And as long as we have that relationship for the duration of this career, I'm good. Like, I don't need to, like, I don't, and maybe that's why people say I'm there, because I disconnect from it. My uncle always told me something early in my life, which stuck with me, which is that while you're on the journey, you have to disconnect from the end goal, because if you're just focused on some end goal, then you might get there, but it'll be hard to progress past that, because you're so focused on that one destination that it's like, you maybe forget everything in between, and maybe you could have done more in between. He always told me, like, just be here right now, live right now, and do the best you can right now. Don't worry about what that end goal is. It's great to have goals, it's great to have dreams, but it's just like you get too attached to it, and sometimes it can be a self-destructive thing. So, I just kind of try to progress as much as I can, like right now.
I made a commitment very early on to just be myself, and what really bothers me the most is the fact that, sometimes I feel like I don't get enough credit, or I'm not making a big enough impact because I'm not enough of a loose cannon, in situations like this where we're doing a one-on-one interview, or, that people just want me to go off more and lose my composure, and then that way, I guess maybe I would be like cooler, make more headlines or be more iconic, but that's not me. I'm a naturally poised individual. I don't want to just come out, making mistakes.
How do I get better? I push myself really hard. I don't sacrifice, like, I try not to sacrifice any bar, I'll sit there on the last two lines of a verse for 3-4 days if I need to, just to figure out how to end it. I want it to be cohesive. I always want the beginning of a verse to be strong. I always want the end to be strong. And I really, really, really spend a lot of time on bars, luckily for me, melodies come extremely easy, knock on wood, like, but they do. I that is something that naturally, like, I just get in there and it starts flowing, and by 40 minutes in, an hour in, I have pretty much the direction I'm going in. But when it comes to raps, I spend a lot of time on it, man. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, that's all off the top. I always want to outdo myself. I always want to outdo everybody else around me. I'm a very competitive person. I'm just quiet about it. I'm not really out there like talking about who I want to outdo. I'd rather just go and outdo it, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just sitting back and being like, I don't need to tell you who I'm better than or who I'm trying to be better than. I just want to put my music out, and then you tell me who's better. While you're on the journey, you have to disconnect from the end goal. Because if you're just focused on some end goal, then you might get there, but it'll be hard to progress past that, because you're so focused on that one destination that it's like, you maybe forget everything in between, and maybe you could have done more in between. He always told me, like, just be here right now, live right now, and do the best you can right now. Don't worry about what that end goal is. It's great to have goals, it's great to have dreams, but it's just like you get too attached to it, and sometimes it can be a self-destructive thing. So, I just kind of try to progress as much as I can.
Why do you care so much about success? Have you figured that out?
I'm just addicted to it.
Why?
I think that I've sacrificed so much for it already and dedicated so much of my time that I have to push it as far as I possibly can, because I've given up a lot of years as far as maybe like nurturing like personal relationships go, and trying to build things like a family or a relationship, or I don't do any of that. I just kind of work. At this point in my life, I'm okay with that.
You know, as you receive things in life, money, blessings, whatever, your appetite begins to grow, right? So it's like if I give you $1 million tomorrow, you're gonna learn what it's like to have $1 million, and then you're gonna start being around people that have $10 million or $100 million. You're gonna learn that there's other things that you can't get with $1 million. So your appetite grows, and I think the initial visions that I had for myself just kind of manifest. The feeling I get when I'm out in the world is one of respect. I think that my career has a lot of integrity, and I think I'm very excited about that because I think I could have let that drop a bunch of times. And I also think one of my biggest accomplishments is the fact that I didn't let this massive change in my life destroy me. You know, I still don't do drugs. You know, I drink, but even if I drink every day, I don't drink to black out. I don't drink to escape my sadness. I don't drink to the point that it affects my family or my career. I think I'm just happy that I'm still intact. You know, that's my biggest accomplishment. I made a lot of money. You know, did a lot of things, been a lot of places, had a lot of opportunities to f this up and didn't. And, you know, I could be at dinner with my mom and still hear her say, like, you know, I'm proud, you're still you, you're in there, you know? And I'm looking at you, you're there, it's you. It's not like a shell of who you used to be or something like that, you know? I love my space, I love my work, and I love my routine. And for me to break that for somebody, it would just have to be like a really special person that fits into that puzzle and that is supportive of the things I'm doing. It has to be somebody that has taste in music. It has to be somebody that I get along with so much to the point that when we're separate, I'm feeling like I can't function properly without their.
Feel like you are successful?
Yes, I do. I always want more. I'm, for some reason, like ready to go back and start working on new music tonight, even though everyone around me needs.
This came out like last week.
Yeah, everyone around me needs a breather for sure. But
dude, you said you wanted to have $25 million by the time you're 25. You did that. Mm-hmm. Now you say you want $250 million by the time you're 29. I mean, this is given the modest way you grew up. Mm-hmm. What does money mean to you?
Well, I think less than the dollar value, it's just more about the idea of growth and business mindset too. You know, 25 million at the time seemed crazy to me, but when you start becoming a headlining touring act and, you know, brands want to get involved with you and you can go do private events and whatnot, it's, you know, you're capable of making it. And now I want to, you know, for sure, obviously keep touring, keep making music, but now I see that there's other ways, you know, as far as like, you know, this global ambassador thing, as far as maybe starting, I want to invent something. I want to start a company. I want to do something that has maybe nothing to do with music.
Well, why do you care so much about success? Have you figured that out?
I'm just addicted to it.
Why?
I think that I've sacrificed so much for it already and dedicated so much of my time that I have to push it as far as I possibly can, because I've given up a lot of years as far as maybe like nurturing like personal relationships go, and you know, trying to build things like a family or a relationship or I don't do any of that. I just kind of work. So with that being said,
and how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that now. At this point in my life, I'm okay with that. I think it's a great age to be doing that. You know, I think maybe in 10 years, if I'm still in that mindset, I might have to like come sit back down with you and be like, yeah, we gotta have it. This is a different conversation tonight. But yeah, no, I feel good about it now.
I interview a lot of artists who will say, and I'll say, what is the dream here? What do you know, it's like, I just want to be able to play music, make a living. You know, it's just about the art. I mean, whether they're being duplicitous or not in the answer, they don't publicly say, I want to be number one, especially Canadian musicians.
Right.
You're not afraid to say that. Tell me why.
Well, I don't want to be number two,
I think that would be a weird thing to sit here and say, or I don't care. You know, I want to make this city proud. You know, that's a main reason for me. And number one, it takes a while to even become that. I don't even know what number. It's like number. I hate numbers, by the way. You know, I like to say I just want to win. You know, it's
you know, that's a debate in Canada, especially with Canadians, right? Well, just about uber modesty sometimes. You know, there's the subtext that we're not supposed to say.
Right.
We want to win. You know, some people take umbrage at the Own the Podium campaign for the Olympics. It's too much. You know?
Maybe that's what I got from my like summer times in Memphis then.
And I remember just he was the biggest rapper in the city, and I remember I was walking in the mall. I don't remember exactly who I was with, but I turned to the person I was with and I said, I'm gonna be bigger than that guy one day. And that was my memory of Carter.
Be careful what you wish for.